Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode, or better say, a new season, a new split for PCS Rundown. Yes, the new summer split has already begun. We have the first week behind our back, and it's time to look back at what happened. I don't want this time to have just a compilation, a highlight compilation of the best 9 moments. We will still have those 3 moments per day, but I want to go a little bit more in depth and talk about what happened actually during the games. I prepared 5 topics of discussion plus the 9 highlights, but first of all, remember, of course, to go down, comment below, and let us know if you want to know something more about the games, about the teams. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, to One Track Podcast. We have Italian content, but also some international content, so you don't want to miss that. Okay, topics of discussion. Let's talk about PCS, and let's start with number 1. Of course, we are talking about PSG because they are first. They are still good. They are still that good. They had quite a strong start by facing BYG Beyond Gaming, the second place team in Spring Split, on the first game of the season, and they demolished them. They just swept, they just mopped the floor with them, so it wasn't even close. They admittedly had some easier schedule facing Alpha and HKA, but they also had an insane game against Machiax. They already have the fastest game of the split against Alpha, so as of now, looks like PSG will just slam the opposition as always, and we have to see if someone can stand up and face them. It's hard to say, but this helped me to get to number 2, which is Beyond Gaming finally looking actually convincing. I never was a big fan of Dogo and the guys, but I have to say that Dogo really stepped up during MSI. So this is probably the byproduct of his time in PSG. He really looks more clean, really looks a better player overall, and also Mawan is a beast in the mid lane. Kino is quite the playmaker, and we had a really slow Beyond Gaming in Spring Split. Now they over accelerated themselves. We talked a lot about their team fighting, their style, and now they are just diving their opposition level 3, and we'll get to that. Yeah, but we don't just talk about the best team here. Let's dive onto the bottom 3, because they are not that well in the standings, but the bottom 3 teams actually looked pretty good during this first week. We had Impunity being the only one that could get a win with their new roster, with Moonblack in the mid lane. We had Liab really trying to force something into early game. They had probably one of the best early game in the league, to be honest. 10 to 15 minutes mark is where they really shine as a team, and this is true probably for all the 3 teams, and for Alpha and Liab more than anyone else. They lack a little bit of shot calling when it needs the most. When you need someone to step up and carry the team, they don't have that player. Kenji is probably the number 1 candidate for Liab, but is not there yet. And of course, let's talk about the Rift. Let's talk about some champions and what happened during drafts, because PCS is played in 11.13 as of now, so we have seen 5 champ with 100% pick and ban rate: Diego, Gwen, Nocturne, Xinjiao, and LeBlanc. What? Why the assassin is so popular in PCS? This is so weird, and I don't understand why, but apparently teams really like to blind pick LeBlanc. This is really intriguing because it's something we don't see all around the world. We basically see LeBlanc with being picked so consistently only in PCS, and this opens up in draft for a lot of intriguing stuff. We saw 2 games of Vlad, we saw 2 games of Lissandra, so stuff is getting really interesting really soon. And of course, LeBlanc is also the one with the worst win rate among the 100% champs, so there's also that. And let's close up this segment talking about roles, because as of now the top side of the map has a lot of power. If you took away some players, or singular players, like of course Kaiwing, Kino as we said, and people like this, top laners and junglers really are making the difference as of now. And we talked about the pool, the 5 champions that have 100%. Also, Lee Sin is really close to perfection, being at 89% presence. Thresh is an 89% presence because of course you have Thresh there, but the focus is on duelists, the focus is on skirmish, and this really can help a lot of teams to find a little bit of an edge, because we didn't see a lot of really good AD carry during spring, I'd say. We finally wrap up now the discussion segment, and we go to the highlights, starting as always from day 1 with PSG Talon, with River on Viego, and as Clement said, Reset City, baby. And we talked about Impunity and their singular win in day 1 with their new mid laner Moonblack, and with his pocket hammer Dinged will raise the donger on the rift. I didn't talk at all about Boom Esports, but somehow they're still there in the top 4, and somehow is for fights like this. Another team I didn't say anything about is J-Team. Paired at second with Beyond Gaming, with Lil V 1v1ing the AD carry from Liab. Come on Aiden, there was a fair fight. Another day, another game of River outplaying their opposition. Come on man, let them go. In fact, they started the game at 0-3. I spent the whole spring split hyping up Machiax and their aggressive style, but Beyond Gaming reversed the script, diving MCX level 3. And on the final day we start with Liab showcasing their aggressive early game. It didn't turn out well in the end, but this looks really promising. Number 2, you probably saw the clip already, but this is just the most glorious bard ult you've ever seen. Thank you, Mr. Kaiwing. Impunity weren't very lucky this week. They had some technical issues on day 2. They had to play 3 games on day 3 and they looked really tired. Like, why do you take this fight against HKA to lose the game? And now, as always, a closer look to the standings. At first place we have PSG Talon 4-0, the only perfect team as of now. Beyond Gaming NJ team second, paired up 3-1. Boom Esports and Ankang Attitude at 4th with 2-1. Berjais Dragon, the only team at 2-2. 7th place for Machi X, not a best start for them. Impunity at 1-3. Alpha and Liab still have to find a single win for them, 9th and 10th place. And next week, really stay focused on Saturday because you have HKA versus Berjais Dragon, you have Machi X, still not on full force against a promising Liab, and we close that day with PSG versus J Team. Also, last game of Sunday, J Team versus BYG for 2nd place. You really don't want to miss that. Thank you if you watched the whole video. As always, like, share and subscribe, go to the channel, do whatever you wanna do. Follow everyone on Twitter for What Trick Podcast and watch PCS, and see you next week.